This is Ask Ollie. We gave you guys at home the chance to ask this man absolutely anything on the Sky Sports social media accounts. Ollie, this was actually trending worldwide, so we've got a lot of questions sent in. Are you ready?
Yes, of course. Throw him at me.
Let's crack on. When you joined Manchester United as a player, if someone told you you'd score the winning goal in a Champions League final and manage the club, what would you have said?
Have you seen in the magic ball, crystal ball? It's, no, of course, when I signed a deal, 5-year deal, and it was a dream come true being a professional footballer. I never in a million years would have thought the career has turned out the way it has done. So I owe the club a lot.
And when you were a player for Manchester United, did you dream of going on to manage the club? Because obviously I know you played football manager, you harboured aspirations of coaching. Was that your ultimate goal?
I always, when I was a kid, I always loved the manager games. Football Manager, Championship Manager, and even before that on the Commodore 64 and them games. So I've always been very interested in putting teams together, tactics. But when I played, I never ever imagined me working at Man United as a manager, no. Towards the end, when I got my injury, I started thinking about coaching and management. And when I got the reserve team job, who knows, you had a little bit of a dream beyond there, you've got to dream big. Then when I went to Molde, of course, my main aim was to be as successful as possible and hopefully one day be sat in his chair.
Love it. What a job you've done as well. Okay, let's do the next one. And this one's a bit of a shift, because this one says, if I was going to go on holiday to Norway, what would be your number one recommendation to do?
Oh, I'd say Christensen, of course, because it depends on what you want. Do you want to go skiing, or do you want to go fishing, or do you want nice weather? My favourite holiday destination back home is a small island, Grip, just outside Christensen. If you want to get away from everything, that's the place to go. So I shouldn't say that, because there might be too many people coming to our lovely island.
Yeah, you've just ruined your own sort of getaway spot there. There's going to be thousands of Man United fans descending on Grip now. This one is an interesting one because it actually comes from an interview I did with Luke Shaw a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's, is it true that Luke Shaw is the best finisher at the club? Now, this is because Luke, in that interview, claimed you'd said he was the best finisher. Is there any truth in it?
Hands up, I've said that to Luke, yeah. Because...
Have you?
He is behind Mason Greenwood, and I think I said that as well. But Luke has got a very good technique, very good finishing technique when he gets into that position. So I encourage him to get up there. Of course, that was my aim, to get Luke higher up the pitch, getting the end products, and he does have a great technique.
I love that. And you also mentioned Mason there. I remember you saying in past interviews that you want your strikers sort of scoring easier goals, almost. Do you think that's something that maybe Edinson Cavani, since he's come in, is sort of teaching some of these younger players that movement to get into those positions?
Definitely. He's not a scorer of just great goals. He's a great goal scorer. When I look at Marcus, Anthony, Mason, they're scorers of great goals. To be great goal scorers, they also have to do the tap-ins and this fox in the box, and you've got to be there, you've got to break your nose once in a while and get hurt. So, of course, I encourage them to learn from Edinson, because he's done it throughout his whole career.
Love it. Okay, the next question. Again, a bit of a change in tangent.
Okay.
What is your go-to meal as a chef?
I can't see I have a go-to meal. I can fend for myself. I can cook to survive. Of course I can. But probably it'll be walk up the canteen, have a little look what the chefs put on the lunch, bring it home and heat it and say, Daddy's been cooking.
I love it. Have you got like one favourite British dish? Because I wanted to ask the question, do you prefer Norwegian food or British food? So are we talking, you prefer a Sunday roast over maybe a foracle? Or
I can do a Sunday roast, yeah, of course I can. That's one of my go-tos. Maybe tacos on a Friday night. Everyone in Norway, every Friday you do the tacos with the family around, so I can do that one quite easily. Nice little Mexican number. Okay, let's do the next one. Does Bruno play the best tunes in the dressing room? Oh, I can't really say if he's the one that plays the best tunes, because I try to stay away from the dressing room as much as possible. But it's quite, it's good music. They do get some energy through the music. So we had some bad DJs back in the day with Rio and probably myself once in a while. But they're all right.
I wanted to ask as well, how does the dressing room compare now to when you were a footballer? Is it a totally different energy in there? Is it much more enjoyable and more music and more serious back then, or not at all?
It has changed, yeah. It's more music. I think, of course, kids or players nowadays are different to my generation, but it's more accepted with... We never had phones in the dressing room with our own music on and headphones. I did have a small little MP3 or whatever it was to get my music on, because you do get some energy with that. But I was surprised when I saw them play all these little Tetris and all these games before, but it's changed definitely.
I wanted just to touch a little bit more on Bruno Fernandes. Yep. Obviously you said in past interviews that you travelled to watch him before he joined the club. What was your first impression when you saw Bruno in real life compared to maybe some of the videos you've seen online?
What you see close up is you see the personality, because you just follow him. you see a lot of good things and some stuff that you... I'd rather have Bruno's fire in the belly and desire, and it's so important for him to win. And he makes every decision for the referee, he makes the decision for every teammate. So what I saw there was a guy who never ever allowed anyone to rest. He wanted the best all the time. So you travel around, you see some quiet personalities. I actually once went to see a player, and as he walked out of the dressing room or through the tunnel onto the pitch, he had a Mohican. This was when I was back in Norway, and I just said to my scout that let's go home. Not interested. Honest
Not
truth.
for you.
That was a very short scouting trip.
I have to say that's class. Okay, let's do the next question. What do your family make of your incredible Norwegian Mancunian accent?
I don't know. My family, as in my wife and my kids, or my...
Yeah.
Well, they're Mancs themselves, so they've probably got the same. Sometimes the kids laugh at me because I don't have the English as they have, because they've grown up in England, of course. So what can I say? I try to keep my accent or dialect in Norwegian, being away, and I'm quite broad, and I think I'm quite broad accent Manc-wise as well.
Definitely. Okay, the next question. When you were managing Molde and you saw Haaland, did you realise what he would become today?
Yeah. See the personality.
Immediately, just straight away.
He came as a 16-year-old. Of course, you never know with injuries. He struggled really badly with bad knees when he came. But I can see someone with a personality, and I remember him just brushing off and putting our centre-back and centre midfielders, two big, massive lads. He put them on the floor and asked them to get up, and he was a winner. So he's got a great personality. Of course, He's proven everyone how good a player he is, and we played against Zenit St. Petersburg in the Champions League, Europa League playoff, and the referee came to me after and said he'll play in the Champions League soon. Yeah, I know. So we didn't know. And
what's he like as a person? Because we can all see on the pitch he's a real warrior and a battler, but is he like that off the pitch as well, or is he just a really nice guy?
He's top personality. So I played with Alfie, so he's a bit old school in that respect, and he's a winner.
Yeah, okay, love it. And whilst we're on the topic of young talent, there's a lot of questions sent in about young Ahmad. Yep. This one, particularly good. What was your first impressions of Ahmad, and what is his ceiling in terms of potential?
He's still a young lad. He's 18, and of course we see top potential in him, and that's why we signed him. He's a very good lad, very likeable. He works hard. He needs to adapt to a new country, new language. So he doesn't speak English well enough still to be confident enough to engage in the conversations. But that's coming. He's learning, and we believe he has the attributes both mentally and technically, physically to be a top player for us.
Nice. Okay, the next one. If you could bring one member of the 99 squad into your team tomorrow, who would you pick and why?
They were all unbelievable individuals in a fantastic team. There's some absolute top players there that you'd have skills and attributes for every single player. You'd want Beck's crosses, you want Giggs' dribbles, you want Jaap's dominance at the back, you want Ronnie Jonsson's pace, you want Scholes' everything. You want every one of them, to be fair. But I've always said it, and I have to say again, if I'd choose one player, Roy Keane. Roy Keane.
And what was it about Roy that would add to
everything he did? Everything he did. He was a leader. The way he played, the way he pushed everyone. I'd say Roy Keane.
That works perfectly for the next question then, because this one is about Roy Keane, and it says, who was more vocal at United? Was it Roy Keane or was it Gary Neville?
We listened more to Roy than to Gary, that's for sure. Gary probably was talking too much, and he still does. And that's just Gary, and we've got used to it. But he's got good opinions, and both of them very vocal. If there's one you wouldn't go against, is Roy Keane.
Okay, I love it. And obviously both of those are Sky Sports pundits.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite between the two of them? Is there any sort of message you want to give to Roy and Gary?
No, of course not. They know the demands of Man United, standards that we set. So when they get angry with us, that's fine. That's just their jobs. They've both been managers, so they know what the standards here, and they know the demands of a manager, so they know what we're going through every single day. How successful they've been, they know themselves.
Okay, let's do one final question then. This one is, who was in charge of the fines at United in your day as a player?
I can't remember. I never got fined, so I can't remember who I had to stand up to. So, but it was probably Gary, because Gary is busy. he was always busy, so it's probably him.
And is there anyone now at this current Manchester United team that's in charge of fines? I saw maybe Nemanja Matic was potentially one of the names.
Nemanja's in charge. He's quite the policeman, and he's watching them. And sometimes he has to pay himself, because he was actually not long, but he was late for a meeting here the other day, and the boys, of course, were laughing and joking and clapping him.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for your time today, Ole.
Pleasure.